Hey everybody, thank you for joining me on my second ever live streaming episode. Hey Giff, thanks for joining me. We're going to grow this channel, grow the community, and keep on, going hard in this bull market. So thank you for everyone being here today. Nice to see you. Your support means the world to me. Real quickly before I kind of get into the talking points for this week, feel free to like, subscribe, leave a comment. My goal right now is to 50 subs. So once I get to 50 subs, then I'll be able to do a little bit more with the content, streaming, live streaming on mobile devices. So the quality should go up at that point. And the content should be of a higher quality. So please do that. And once I get 50 subs, there'll also be a giveaway. We'll post. I'll probably do a poll in the Palatown Discord what the giveaway will be. We'll continue to do giveaways at weekly milestones or sub milestones as we grow this thing. So again, thanks for your support. If you like the content, feel free to subscribe, leave a comment, and yeah, we'll rock and roll. So real quickly, so last week I talked about how this is an interesting time as we're in between the end of SV era, right? The last set, Black Bolt and White Flare, and going to Megas, which releases September 26th. So we're 2 months away from Megas. And what happens in this time with SV prices, Sword and Shield prices, Sun and Moon prices is going to be noteworthy and something to pay attention to. So one of the predictions I made just real quickly, Black Bolt White Flare update. So that released a week ago, right? A little bit over a week ago now. One of the predictions that I made. Hey, how you doing, Steven? Thanks for joining. One of the predictions I made with Black Bolt White Flare is that the ETBs would not fall below $90. And I was just checking TCG Player this morning, about an hour ago. They're at $93. So 90 was the floor, as I predicted, and they're probably going to just continue to go up. Questions will be at the end, Gift. So I'll just kind of give an update, weekly recap. So the title's weekly recap, and the Scalps, I'll give an update on what I'm seeing in the market, at the, big box retail level, and kind of what's been happening in, kind of what's changed since last week, when it comes to Black Bolt White Flare, some of these other sets too, whether Crown Zenith, Prismatic. So we'll give updates on that. There's a lot going on still with SV. So a lot of the points today will be on that. Also some Sword and Shield, and we'll get to questions at the end. Okay. So Black Bolt White Flare. Hey, Kevin, thanks for joining. Is actually doing a lot better than I expected. Pretty much, with shipping, $100 in ETB right now. And the reason why I said it wouldn't go below $90 was just purely based, and I had no conviction in the set. Anybody that knows that, I've been a big bear on the Black Bolt White Flare, as many of you guys can attest to. I didn't say I was going to crash the market, but as we got closer to Black Bolt, the release, I noticed something that was happening with the set and the pricing. That big box, so Target, they're probably the biggest big box retailer when it comes to Pokemon in the US. I'd say that they inject into the market at the moment has the biggest impact because you're getting the best prices. MSRP is the best price you can get pretty much right now. At release, that's not necessarily true. When it comes to restocks and replenishment, big box retail is the best, right? If you have distributor access, you're probably purchasing, you're getting well below MSRP for the initial release, but any subsequent replenishment you're getting taxed on that. You're paying based off of market, 20% off of market, right? So that's why it was always my opinion that Target prices have some of the biggest impacts on the US market. And the fact that they increased their price to $60 for an ETB from 50 was very noteworthy and something that I could see was going to have a pretty big impact on the market. So I, although I don't like paying $60 in ETB, I could see that the pricing, at the set market price, there was going to be a pretty high floor when it came to these products. $90 seemed, reasonable. And that's where it hasn't gone down 90 and it's starting to move up, right? So I thought that the where it would kind of end is between 90 and 115. That was my prediction last week, and it seems to be holding true. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. I just picked up another ETB today. I got it for 45 bucks because I had a coupon, so that was nice. I got a Black Bolt one. So I have a small position in Black Bolt White Flare. I recommend, people while you can, because there's going to be tons of influx of product into the market. We have 2 months away to the next era of Pokemon. So you'll have plenty of chances to get it, not on, not off TCG Player, not paying market prices, but around $60 in ETB. And if you're lucky, less. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. A couple other things that happened this week. There was a big drop of prismatic ETBs across the US at Sam's Club. I think the supply numbers total nationwide was about 125,000 ETBs that were priced at $50. And then you got a Pokeball with it, 3 packs, 2 Paradox, 1 Temporal. So pretty much you're paying, you're getting a free 3 packs with a $50 prismatic ETB. Good deal. We were wondering, one of the questions last week was what kind of impact that would have on the market. It didn't have that much of an impact. ETB prices were 110 last Sunday or so, Saturday, Sunday, and they're around 105 around at the moment. So there's still some hitting the market, but I don't think it didn't cause that big of a pullback, right? The Costco one, I think, had a pretty larger pullback on it because there was a prismatic bundle in there as well. So you're getting 15 packs of prismatic for 55 bucks. Now you're only getting, 1 ETB, 9 packs for 50 bucks. But still, it's holding strong. And I think another reason that could be attributed to is because, like, right now you're seeing what Black Bolt White Flare ETBs are 95 bucks. Prismatic ETBs 105. What are you going to buy on the market right now? You're not going to buy the $95 black. Anybody that is trying to hold these things and knows the value of these products long term is going to opt to not be purchasing the Black Bolt and White Flare and just paying the $10 extra tax on the prismatic product. So and one of the reasons I said it wasn't going to have a large impact too last week, the prismatic ETBs, is because I argued it was going to get into the hands of lesser amount of people. They have limits of 10, so you can purchase 10 ETBs at a time. Most of any warehouse I saw get was 450 units. So that goes to 45 people if everybody's buying 10 ETBs at a time, which I presume at least 90% of the people are. So 45 people can clear a warehouse of these ETBs. So it's not like it's getting spread very wide. It's getting into the hands of people like me and people that don't intend to just, flip these quickly and intend to hold on them for a while. So that was, yeah, actually here, you'll see one in the back here. I got one of these things. It's a pretty cool product, 50 bucks. Pokeball. I was hoping it would have some Cosmic Eclipse or something in there. Some of the older Sam's Club stuff did with these Pokeballs, but it seems like it's all been repackaged, reprinted as well. So, yeah, I think we're in an interesting time right now in the market. And a lot going on. I did just see a new Costco drop that is going to be coming August 15th for Surging Sparks. It will be another bundle, Surging Sparks ETB, and a booster bundle for $54.99. So Muerte, thank you for being here. So yeah, that's something to definitely keep an eye on. So one of the things, so I actually did do a stream 2 days ago, and it didn't save. Unfortunately, it was a 30-minute stream. But one of the things I was talking about in it, which I'll just speak on now as well, is learn. For anybody that's looking right now where it's hard to get product, I'd just start to try to learn your local market if you can. That's the one thing with me that's gotten me very far in this hobby, collecting and investing, is learning your local market targets, right? Walmart's, Sam's Club, Costco. But additionally, when you by doing that and putting some time and energy into that, you're gonna meet a lot of people. So I'd say networking has been the one thing that has gotten me ahead, significantly ahead in this market. Networking with people that are doing the same thing as you or have the same goals as you in your area, and you guys can kind of team up, right? And help each other out. So we all help each other out, and we're able to hit some of these big hits with Sam's Club, Target, etc., Costco. So um, yeah, I think there's a huge opportunity there that not a lot of the other content creators are, pointing out. All they're doing is looking at the market prices, right? They'll just sit on their computer, look at TCG Player. Oh, look, surging went up this high today, or it's down, so and so today. Instead of, they're missing on a huge part of the market, which is all of this product at big box retail, and they're missing, yeah, it's kind of skewing what's really happening in the market when all they're looking at is secondary prices and not focusing on the biggest opportunity, which is finding products at MSRP or below, which will be a lot of what my channel focuses on. And I think it's going to give you guys the biggest edge in being able to grow your collection at the lowest risk to you and at the lowest dollar value. So instead of speculating, like a lot of these people do, just go out, try to hit some of these Costco drops, try to hit some of these Target ones, these Walmart ones. It's gonna, you're gonna learn a lot about, like I said, your local market, but how to grow your collection and your portfolio, which is something I'm trying to do every day as well. So yeah. Real quickly on the market, continue to pick up Sword and Shield at MSRP when it comes available. One second here. Target has these. I was able to get a couple of, or 6 or so of these just through some friends. Lost Origin, Silver Tempest, $5. It's $10 for that blister pack. And this is, I'd argue, give me 36 of these. That's 2 booster boxes worth. They're sealed. You're not having to worry about it. That's a good product right there. Finding products like those in a time like this is a gold mine, right? It's a huge opportunity. So yeah, we're not seeing too much Sword and Shield in the product. These new blisters are the newest thing to come to market. I was able to get some Crown Zenith this past week at Walmart. Galarian Moltres one. And yeah, those ones are huge right now. So you can still find opportunities like that in the market. It's like I said, you're only going to really be able to do that through networking and learning your local area, but they're there, and I'm paying $25 for that $10 for this, those are the kind of plays you want to be making right now, instead of investing at some of these, at least, you can still invest in products at second on market price. But I think what's going to do you better is trying to find these things in the wild, and trying to catch them, so to speak, right? Pun intended. So, yeah, these things are here. Try, to find these opportunities in your area, and yeah, exactly. Okay, so let me just see. What's up, Dark Trader? Oh, what's up, Benji? Thank you for being here. Your support means a lot to me. Appreciate you guys. Okay, a couple of things I do want to talk about real quickly, and then I'll go into some of your questions if you have any. So, okay, prismatic. So some things that I argued last week, which are great plays. Sword and Shield, which you're still able to find, right? Crown Zenith, you're still able to find. I have some Zapdos boxes back there. You're seeing, I got those this week. You're still able to find 151. And then I do have some Paladin Fates bundles too. Sorry, I'll just show that real quick. I got 4 of those as well this week. Those are what you should be buying right now. Prismatic, we're seeing less of it at big box retail. I got these at Sam's Club, but before that, I didn't get any prismatic the week before. I'm not seeing that hit the market. So If you're able to find prismatic in the wild, get it. 151, obviously. Anything SV 1 through 4, I always find is a good deal. But if you're able to find it, and then additionally, I would, and if you're able to find prismatic at MSRP at any time, that's always a good buy. So continue to try to look for those while you can, accumulate those, because I think we're about to go on a pretty large run up with these early sets as SV comes to an end and people are going to start FOMOing. And that's why I think these next 2 months, it seems like it's going to be kind of slow. It seems like it's going to be a lot of black bolt and white flare coming out. But there will be other opportunities. We're seeing surging sparks getting that huge bundle at Costco. So that's obviously going to hit that pretty hard. I'll try to get at least 10 of those, of those bundles. I think that's a good position. No surging sparks positions. So getting positions of products that you don't have at the moment while we get these reprints is probably a good idea for SV, especially even the latter half of SV, especially when you're able to buy these things below MSRP, $55 for an ETB in a bundle. When you kind of calculate that out, you're getting it below market or below MSRP. So getting those opportunities, getting a position. I have like I said, I have a black bolt white flare position. I'm not looking to add too much to it. I did add an ETB today, so I'm up to 8 ETBs, 5 of black bolt, 3 of white flare. I have a case worth of the black bolt binders. The poster collections, I got one of those this week too, but I have like 15 or so. I'd continue to buy those. I think that's the best bang for your buck. You get 2 packs of each of the specialty sets, and yeah, holding those. Just getting a small position, throwing them in the closet. It's hard to argue against, getting a small position in a specialty set. So, and one thing too I wanted to bring up, I think it was noteworthy. So, like for instance, this ETB or not ETB, but this tin, you compare this to has 5 packs in it, right? You compare this thing to things like the bundles right now. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of repricing in the market as things like cool down. People are going to look at some of these products, especially some of the older ones, and see that some of them are not priced right. Like, why would a Crown Zenith bundle be $100 with only a 6 packs, and this thing's 60, 65 bucks? Doesn't make any sense, right? You can argue the same thing with the Crown Zenith ETB compared to the Sea and Skybox. Why is the ETB still higher at 185 to the Sea and Skybox at around like 175, 180, although it has lesser packs in the ETB? So these kind of discrepancies, I think, things are going to start evening out. People are going to start making plays. We are seeing a lot of liquidity enter the market through other places, right? We're seeing it with Magic. People are crossing over from Pokemon to Magic. I have, because that's been some of the best plays right now in the market when you're at big box retail. We haven't been seeing a lot of prismatic, right? We still get inflows of Final Fantasy collector Omega packs and the gift bundles. So you have to adapt as markets change. So I think with that though, there's more people coming into the market. There's going to be a lot more capital inflowing, and people are going to start making plays on some of these products that are not priced properly. And there's still some inefficiency in the market to be capitalized on, and I think we're going to be seeing that here pretty soon. So thank you all for being here again. I appreciate it. If you're liking the content, feel free to like the stream, sub to the channel. I am doing a giveaway at 50 subs, and then I'll be able to do more content once I get 50 subs through mobile streaming. So maybe I'll even go out one of these days, and when we hit a restock, hit a Walmart, hit something, maybe it'll be live streamed for you guys, as long as my internet quality is good at that time. Yeah, I think that'd be pretty good content too as well to grow the channel. So so we are still seeing some nice stuff hitting the market, less prismatic, less 151, less Paldean fates, some Sword and Shield coming in. So just keep an eye peeled on what's coming in the market. I'll continue to update you guys with anything cool that's coming through. But I just think we're seeing a lot of black bolt and white flare. That's all I'm seeing, which is still on its way up from the $90 floor ETB. But I think it's capped on its upside, and we're at the infancy of its life cycle. So okay, guys. All right, let me get into some of these questions. Okay. Brett. Okay. So yeah, Chinese Pokemon cards, GIF. Yeah, no, I'm not against Chinese Pokemon cards. I did see that there was that interesting take recently about China is going to be banning the sealed Pokemon boxes from being sold within the territory. Now, the thing is that I don't think it necessarily affects people in the US is because probably people in China aren't really shipping that product out anyway. What comes in and out of that country is very regulated, especially toys, which I would assume Pokemon is deemed as a toy. They're super regulated when it comes to what toys come into the country and not so much what goes out, right? Because they ship a lot of toys, they make a lot of toys. But so I don't think those two. I think all the product that we're seeing from the U.S. is coming from Japan. The Chinese sealed products. I ordered mine from Sakura. That's I think a Japanese seller of Pokemon cards. So I don't think it's going to have a major impact. But yeah, there's it's a big market right now. If you got in early on Chinese Pokemon cards, I would sell. I think you won. Maybe, we're in a bull run, so maybe, sell some, hold some to see how much higher it goes. Just, lower some risk, lock in some gains. But I don't think you're going to be, I just don't believe in the product long term. I don't believe, it's one chase card. There's very little value in the entire box other than these few cards within it. For instance, I opened the EV Gem Pack 2 one. I thought it was a terrible opening experience. I have all the English V promos already of these cards, and then I'm paying a premium to get them. There's a high likelihood of me getting them again. And I don't like the EV Pokeballs, or just how those Chinese Pokeball and Master Balls are. I think it's a very cheap product. And I'm not going to say it's a bad investment. I don't believe in it, but that's because I don't necessarily know how much is going to be printed of these products. I don't know that, so I would assume that they're going to be printed. It's just harder for people in the U.S. to get. There's a barrier where you need to you go through one of these Japanese sellers, or I guess Chinese too as well. So I just think it's kind of it's the fad right now. Chinese cards. The artwork is great. I would love that Gengar Pikachu card. Don't get me wrong. That card, I want that, and my daughter wants that in her binder, right? So, and I want to get her one too. So, but to be paying a premium, I don't know. There's just too many questions. I guess you can kind of relate it to Japanese cards, where when do Japanese cards long term have not held to English ones. So why would we think Chinese would continue? Why would we think Chinese Pokemon sealed products would be the new gold standard for this market? I just have too many doubts with that. But I'm not saying don't do it. I don't advocate for it. There's a lot of risk. Rudy's mentioned this, why he doesn't, sell Japanese cards, because there's risk involved in it, right? And with that, and you kind of have to do that risk versus reward. The boxes aren't too expensive, but you are paying a pretty big premium on a box that has 15 packs in it and 5 cards a pack. It's just not a good experience for me. I don't really believe in the product as a whole, but I'm not saying that it can't win long term. So yeah. Okay, guys, I don't really have too much else to say. I want to kind of give you, a weekly update on, just like what I said, what I see in the market, what's going to unfold till Megas comes out. I'm really excited for Megas. I'll just kind of end on this then. One thing that I kind of took note to was getting, the artworks with, they have a lot of connected artworks in the Mega Evolution set. And you can see that there are there are differences between the IRs from the SV area, noticeable ones. And it's I found that it was more that the Mega Evolutions, the IRs that have been released, were a little bit more closer to pocket kind of artwork, right? And I know the pocket artwork, a lot of the artists are the same as the English, the ones that are printed as well from SV, right? I know that there's a lot of overlapping artists, but the style It seemed a lot more like psychedelic, right? A lot more vivid colors. We're seeing that with the Bulbasaur one, right? Which, I think is a smart move by Pokemon. Pocket brought a lot of people into the hobby, this bull run. And, it kind of, exacerbated some of the early singles buyouts that we probably saw because everybody was doing Pocket this and that, right? And people wanted to buy singles. And so I think it's smart by them. They're kind of playing into the success of Pocket by the artwork kind of being, I'd say, a little bit more in tune with what we've been seeing on the app that we haven't been seeing in SV, right? So I think it's going to do well. Now the question just comes down to how much are they going to print of it, right? We already know that they're moving printing facilities in the Netherlands, and then with that they're going to open, with that move, where they're open, they're going to have more print runs and print lines. They're going to be opening up space at the printing facility here in the U.S. for the U.S. market. So how much more supply are we going to see of Mega Evolutions compared to what we've been seeing in the later end of SV? What percentage increase are we going to see? And is that percentage increase going to meet demand, or is it going to exceed demand? So those are, as we're making pre-orders right now, I think pre-ordering any set at MSRP is fine deal right now, especially off Pokemon Center. I pre-ordered the booster box and the Pokemon Center ETBs for Mega Evolutions. I think that is a good play right now. But if you want to, just lower your risk exposure, maybe not pre-order so much at the moment until we kind of see what the increase in the print run is going to be from what we've been seeing. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's good to just, temper your expectations. We know base sets, they didn't call it base set for Mega Evolutions, the first one, MEO1, right? Which I think is actually probably smart by them because maybe it kind of, I think there's a negative connotation that comes with base set for a lot of eras, and people, just kind of dismiss them as ever being like the best set of an era. So there's a little bit of an asterisk when it comes to base set named products, but I think the set can still do really well. And I like the artwork in it. I think the whole era is going to do well. I don't think any booster box is going to be below $200 out of the gate, just like we're seeing with SV. I just don't think that's where we're at right now, unless they are able to print over demand a healthy amount, right? Or I guess it'd be unhealthy at that point. If they are able to do that, then I think we could start seeing a pullback in the market that may affect some of the later SV products, because if they're able to print megas that much, then we know that they have the ability to overprint the later parts of SV, including Destined Rivals, Surging Sparks, Journey Together. So be careful. Let's just see what unfolds in the market, and and then make your best judgments off of that information. Brett, let me see if I can go up. Did I miss where he talked about DR to 2K? No. I'm actually bringing that up right now. So DR, I'd say, dude, DR is, if we want to compare main sets from era to era, it's the Evolving Skies of this era, without a question. Obviously the alt arts in Evolving Cries is a lot harder to attain and pull. The pull rates are much more punishing than in Destined Rivals. But from a quality perspective, it's pretty easy to see, there's similarities between DR and Evolving Skies. Obviously, they're both main sets, so you kind of have to go main set to main set in that instance. I always compare Prismatic Evolutions to Evolving Skies, but when it comes to main set, we already know what's the alpha one. It is Destined Rivals, and buying it at $300 a booster box isn't going to matter. And if you buy it now, in 2-3 years when it's probably $1,000 a booster box in 3 years. So, it's ran up a lot. We'll still be able to get some bundles and some ancillary products on the market here and there. Likely not many booster boxes we're going to see, but I think we're going to see. I think we're going to continue to see strength with Destin Rivals. I wouldn't be surprised. No worries, Nate. I'll do this again soon. Like I said, I'm trying to get to 50 subs. So thanks everybody for joining me today. Let's get me to 50 subs so the quality of the stream's better. I'll be able to do more mobile streams. And then I'll do that giveaway as well. I'll do a post in the Discord. In the description of this video, there I left the link to the Discord if you guys want to join Palatown, where a lot of people like me, long-term investors, people have been here a lot longer than me, discuss Pokemon, the current market, and things that we're seeing in the market, opportunities, arbitrage plays, things like that. So thanks for all being here, and then I look forward to seeing you all on the next one. Peace.